I didn't think 5 words could unravel everything. I need to find myself. That's what I told him. Quietly. Gently. I even thought I was being mature. But he didn't hear maturity. He heard, "I'm done with you." And maybe, in his mind, he was right. My name's Zoya, and I wasn't trying to break his heart. I was trying to save myself from breaking mine. We'd been together for nearly 3 years, the kind of relationship people assumed was perfect from the outside. Matching vacations, tagged selfies, cute captions, anniversary dinners. We were that couple, the one people expected to get married next. But what they didn't see were the things I couldn't explain. How I slowly started to lose myself in the we. How every plan became our plan. How every dream I once had quietly took a back seat so I could ride shotgun in his life instead of driving my own. I loved him. God, I really did. But I started waking up feeling off. Like I wasn't fully in my own body anymore. He was growing, thriving. Promoted at work, hitting goals, building the life he always wanted. And I was clapping for him, smiling for him, cheering him on. While I was quietly drowning in questions I couldn't answer. Is this who I want to be? Do I even know myself without him? And then, one night, after weeks of feeling like I was gaslighting my own emotions, I said it. We were lying on the couch. He was scrolling. I was spiraling. And I just blurted it out. I think I need some time to find myself. He looked up, confused, hurt, like I'd just spoken in a language he didn't understand. "What does that mean?" he asked, and I didn't even know how to explain it without sounding like the villain. I feel lost. I've been putting myself last for so long. I need time to figure out who I am again, not as your girlfriend, just me. He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He just went quiet. And that scared me more than anything. He nodded slowly. Okay. I thought that meant he understood. It didn't. Because less than 2 weeks later, I came back to pick up a few things I'd left at his place, and the key didn't work. The lock was changed. The buzzer didn't connect. I stood there, bags in hand, like a stranger, like someone who'd never belonged there. I texted him. No reply. I called, straight to voicemail. And when I finally got a message back the next day, it was one line. "I figured you needed space. I'm just making sure you have it." I wish I could say I was shocked, but the truth is, I underestimated how fast people can move on when they feel like they've been discarded. I thought taking space meant we'd talk things out, that I'd do some soul searching, and we'd reconnect stronger. Instead, I watched him remove me from his life like I was a bookmark in a story he no longer wanted to read. I found out he started dating someone else within a month. She wasn't a stranger. She was someone he told me not to worry about back when we were still together. Yeah, that girl. It crushed me. Not because I wanted him back, but because I genuinely believed I mattered more than that. How do you go from sharing everything with someone, your fears, your routines, your dumb inside jokes, to becoming an erased chapter? I started questioning everything. Was I ever important? Did he really love me, or did I just fit into the picture he had for his life until someone else looked better in the frame? My friends told me I was overthinking it. That's just his ego reacting. He's just trying to get back at you. But honestly, I think it hurt because it wasn't just ego. I think he really believed I walked out. I think he genuinely felt abandoned. And maybe I did abandon him, but not to hurt him. I did it because I realized I was slowly abandoning myself. Every woman I knew who stayed too long in the wrong version of her life, she thought she was being loyal. I didn't want to wake up 10 years from now wondering what my life could have looked like if I had chosen myself earlier. But choosing yourself comes at a cost. You lose the comfort. You lose the title. You lose the us you once held on to like a lifeline. And sometimes, like in my case, you lose the person altogether. No closure, no goodbye, just replaced. And that's what stung the most. Not the lock, not the silence, not even the other girl. It was the realization that while I was trying to heal, He was already rebuilding, with someone else. He didn't wait. He didn't ask. He didn't wonder. He just moved on like I never existed. And maybe that was his way of protecting himself. Or maybe, just maybe, I wasn't the one he wanted. I was just the one who stayed long enough until someone else came along. It's been 6 months. I still think about him sometimes. Not because I want him back, but because he was the version of love that taught me the most painful lesson. That being loved by someone doesn't always mean you'll be understood by them. And that leaving for your own healing doesn't mean they'll wait for you to come back. I told him I needed to find myself. And I did. Not in a big, dramatic way. Not through some grand trip or life overhaul, but in quiet mornings, in solo coffee dates, in tears that turned into clarity. I found myself in all the pieces he never saw, because I finally gave myself permission to look. So if you're thinking of choosing yourself, do it. But don't expect anyone to wait for you while you do. Do it knowing you might lose them. Do it anyway. Because sometimes the price of self-discovery is heartbreak, but the reward is finally feeling like you again.